Darn it. Once again, I forgot dramatic dun 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 game day type music. Hello, Charles. Hello, John. How are you? This is another epic. We're having some internet jam-ups here. John is looking super wavelet compressed right now, so hopefully everything cooperates. You know, Charles and John, this superb Owl Sunday, there's already a large amount of aggressive disruption coming from mentally ill social engineers. So to preserve the integrity of the broadcast, we're going to be doing the bulk of it in the First Amendment Forum. And with our special guest, John Cullen today, people are going to be able to watch on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen, patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, and subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I also like to remind people that they can now become sponsors on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. You can watch simulcasts on there and also become a member and access the sponsor exclusive content, including all the stuff on the First Amendment Forum. Guys, what are we going to be discussing today as the precursor to the superb owl? Well, John, perhaps you'd like to kick it off. You've prepared some stuff for us, and you've been doing some amazing work lately. Thanks for joining us again today. What have we got in store for our viewers?
Well, it's great to be here. I hope you guys like what I brought to the picnic. So, you know, I'm not sure if you guys like, sardine goulash, but it's a big hit. It's a big hit in my family. So, I figured today's the big game, and I'm
you got here great seats.
Yeah, I'm in the booth with the guys, right? I know a guy.
That's
right?
great.
So I'm here in the booth. Really great seats. We were able to get the crowd to quiet down.
That's good.
We threatened them that Dr. Fauci would come and speak.
Right.
If they made any noise. So as you see, everybody's behaving, which is great news. But we've got a lot of great stuff. I want to pick up the conversation from where we left off, I guess about a week and a half ago. We were talking about some of the documents that I was able to uncover at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine. And part of that conversation leads to a discussion about a company called Metabiota. And the thing about Metabiota that's somewhat odd is that it's funded by Rosemont Seneca. And all of a sudden, the New York Post puts out a story that connects the dots and says, hey, wait a second. Rosemont Seneca is funding Metabiota, and Metabiota is doing business in Ukraine? And all of a sudden there's emails from Hunter Biden about this. So I thought that this is sort of the next chapter, the next level. And I thought we might take a closer look at that when we go to the First Amendment Forum today.
Yeah. Right.
That's good.
And Charles, you've been following a number of stories. I know we were talking about all this stuff last week or a week and a half ago with John. And now there's so much more that's happened. John had revealed some pretty stunning evidence about the maybe not so Chinese balloon, and now we've got more balloons or unknown objects, or what have we got?
We got more balloons than you typically see at a first grader's birthday party. I mean, actually, I think the Ukraine focus is extremely important because, as John points out, Rosemont Seneca is one of those shadowy firms allied to dynastic political families in both parties. Romney, I believe, has a connection there, as does John Kerry's stepson. And the true story on what was going on in Ukraine, I know John has spent a lot of time on it with you, and we talked about it, is a story that does not start even in 2014. It goes way back. And there are a lot of reasons here why those who are taking money out of the Ukraine, either in the form of illegal campaign contributions sent through charities or off-market business deals to family members, this is something that's been going on arguably maybe as far back as even 2001. And so a lot of people on both sides of the aisle and both established parties have a lot to want to cover up and have a lot to be nervous about when a president like Donald Trump comes into power. And I think we have to trace the motives of the various people who were centrally involved in the Trump impeachment trial, especially including Eric Ciaramella and other people like him and John Brennan. And we need to tell the true tale of what happened in Ukraine, what happened in the 16 election, what happened in the 20 election, and what's happened in its aftermath. Because if we don't tell the true tale, these criminals are going to get away with and set precedents for the future, crimes that are epic.
Yeah, I think we can talk about this guy now because he's kind of, public. He's at this Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, but it seems like their assessments and advice are creating international war. Pretty interesting because, we had another whistleblower last night on High Dive with Lee Stranahan. We were talking with Andrei Telizhenko, and Andrei has met with Ciaramella and other people who were in the Obama administration. He was trusted and had been vetted sufficiently that he was allowed in the White House multiple times. Coincidentally, and I'm sure this is just a coincidence because otherwise it would be a conspiracy theory, as soon as Andrei started to become a whistleblower saying that, hey, operatives from the DNC are coming in here to the Ukrainian embassy in Washington, D.C., asking us for dirt on Donald Trump and to help, I guess, create this dossier. When he became a legitimate whistleblower, he was sanctioned, kicked out of the United States, his visa was revoked, his bank account was closed. Way different treatment than what the Caramello lover seemed to receive.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Now, John, there's more information now about Chinese balloons. Not to change topics, but we're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff. And we only have a few minutes here before we make the transition over to the sponsor-exclusive segment on Subscribestar and Patreon. And the other night on John Cullen Investigates, we had a really interesting episode. John had uncovered tons of evidence that suggests that these balloons might not be from China. John, what do you think about all the new balloon information? It seems to be ballooning at this very moment.
Well, I think the story, the overnight story between Saturday and Sunday, February 11th through 12th in the United States, was that there was an unidentified object over Canada or Alaska, and that the pilots, A, shot it down, B, said it had no visible sign of propulsion, and they couldn't figure out what it was.
Huh.
But they shut it down anyway because that's the American way. That's how we do things, right? So, just because it may have been another species reaching out to us to show us how to, use free energy and fly through the cosmos, now we're going to kill it anyway because that's what we do. So, yeah, we shot it down and killed it.
But wait, John, what do you think about the true dope of Canada ordering the U.S. to shoot stuff down? I mean, I guess NORAD is some sort of joint Canadian whatever, but I don't like this idea that Justin Trudeau can order things to happen and that American military or American people at all are taking his stupid orders. He has all kinds of orders he wants to give truckers, and closing down people's bank accounts is his specialty.
No, I think he's confusing. He was ordering on Grubhub as this happened, right? So I think he's confusing just the fact that they happened at the same time. He just happened to be ordering on Grubhub as this happened. So he's confusing it. He thinks he ordered it. That's not what happened. Dinner came. That's what happened.
And apparently just recently, literally in the last several minutes or so, they shut down an airspace over Lake Michigan for yet another thing. And there's something in China, supposedly. And what's going on here?
A lot of people in the chat are speculating that, as John is joking, they're getting ready to unveil the alien invasion. Like this is the last ditch effort.
Somebody better call Will Smith because he's the only one who knows how to fly these damn things, right?
Apparently.
Right? It's Independence Day?
Yeah. Okay, now the other thing I want to tell people about before we go over to the sponsor exclusive segment is that we're also simulcasting today's show on the John E. Hoover YouTube channel. So I encourage people to subscribe to John. Thanks to the 115 people who are watching the simulcast on there. pre-superb owl. And it's super important because, there's a lot of activity going on right now that is intended to suppress the reach of this information. I don't think it's because I'm disliked. I think it's because collectively, the co-hosts and guests on Crowdsource the Truth, most importantly, you guys, have been delivering information that is so damaging and so like the precision sniper accuracy of the information that you two guys have been firing at the heart of this beast is so deadly that they have to do whatever they can to try to stop it.
Yeah. I mean, again, Charles and I tend to do evidence-based journalism as opposed to just pure opinion-based, right? So Charles brings out the documents and you guys turn to page 16 and you go to 530I and, you're looking at numbers. And I tend to do the same sort of thing. We do evidence-based journalism, and it makes it very difficult for the gaslighters to refute. And I guess the kids call it, we bring the receipts, Charles. Right. I think that's the term the kids use. We bring the receipts, exactly. Right?
So I understand.
I never heard that till I got back from Thailand. I never heard that term. So we bring the receipts. So tonight, when we go to the First Amendment Forum, first of all, you guys are going to get to see the Hunter Biden arrest records. You're going to get to see the breakdown letter that talks about the 10% to the big guy. You're going to get to see the FBI documents that Charles released, or Charles tweeted out this week on Twitter, that the FBI released a whole bunch of stuff, like a smoke bomb. Right, like a bunch of flares to get everybody's attention. And part of that was Vegas shooting content. Over 300 pages of Vegas shooting content from the FBI this week. So Charles tweeted that out. We're going to take a look at that. And then, Charles, if you like, we can share with the audience a little bit about what was happening the night that the Nord Stream pipeline blew up in the neighborhood in the Baltic Sea. As you know, I helped build the world's first geographic information system, the first mapping system. And all of these flight systems like flight radar and Skyglass are based on the same technology. They're just 3D. And so I have some footage that we can share with the audience to look at what was happening in the sky the night that the Nord Stream pipeline blew up.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, so we will be checking that out in just a few minutes. People are going to be able to join us in the First Amendment Forum just 5 minutes from now. And if you're not already a sponsor, please join us on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen, patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, and subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Don't forget about the newest way to sponsor Crowdsource the Truth on odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. It drives the stupid Mario Brothers wild when you sponsor on Odyssey. I think because they have less ability to strike videos on there. I've already received several threats this morning that this broadcast would be preemptively struck. Didn't happen. Join us in the First Amendment Forum. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And this is going to be the best Superb Owl pregame show